Hi, folks. Thanks for coming out tonight. So my name is Andrew Lindsey, and I work for Wilderness Youth Project. Wilderness Youth Project is a nonprofit here in Santa Barbara that advocates for and provides opportunities for children to deepen or, in many cases, initiate their connection to nature. We have many traditions within Wilderness Youth Project, but one I'd like to open up with is the practice of gratitude. We open all our meetings with an expression of gratitude, and since I just introduced myself, I'm going to consider this a meeting. So tonight, I'm feeling thankful for fresh fruit and good friends, shared meals. So I'd like to give you guys 5 seconds right now to think of some of the things you're feeling grateful for. Great. So my goal tonight is simply to remind people that any individual's relationship to the natural world requires maintenance and attention, just like those relationships you might have with spouses, friends, parents, or children. The pictures, by the way, are all shot on program. There's a kid somewhere in every one of them, and I believe that more than one needs to be credited to the indefatigable Eric Isaacs. Much of what I say tonight is backed up by contemporary and, I'm sure, ancient research. And in fact, Wilderness Youth Project's current tagline is, "Nature makes children happier, healthier, smarter." And each attribute has its little appropriate footnote in case you need verification. But we're going to leave university research dollars behind and go on pure observations of mine, watching kids learn while immersed in places of wild character for over the past 20 years. So here's the premise. To engage freely and routinely with the natural world is critical to a child's development into a healthy adult. Let's begin with the physical. My favorite activity is simply getting from point A to point B. Anticipatory movement over varied terrain is irreplaceable for a developing child. Charting a course, following it, being thrown off by a rustle in the bushes or a tipping of a rock, recalling the old course, charting a new one, summoning balance, executing leaps or sudden stops. Watching from afar, you can almost hear the neural pathways being established. The natural world does not distinguish between mind and body. It looks instead to being, and children respond to this wholeness, and they're soothed by it. After you've seen a 7-year-old shred Lizard's Mouth or the fallen trees of Elwood or rock hop Mission Creek through Rocky Nook, you may come to regard a typical school playground as an insult. And though our popular models of physical engagement are often extreme, I'd like to remind everyone of one of the natural world's chief attributes. It's infinitely scalable. In a robust place of wild character, there's a tree limb for every kid to reach. If one rock is too troublesome, there is another with just the right foothold. And so, by extension, by providing all these entry points for achievement, the natural world is incessantly giving a larger message. You belong. You are welcome. These are the roots of love. Secondly, I'd like to talk about what I call the language of the world. Now, it's true that predator-prey relationships abound in the natural world, and if you limit your perception, you can see a savagely Darwinian tableau where only the strong survive. But instead, if you allow yourself to see the sheer abundance of life that exists in any place of wild character, the most striking attribute is one of creativity. This creativity is so utterly extensive that by the time you factor in wind, the slant of light, moisture, color, sound, etc., each unfolding moment is entirely unique and best described by that lingual alchemy of metaphor. Children, particularly ages 4 through 10, middle childhood, harbor a heightened ability to perceive these living metaphors. They have no problem allowing one thing to be another, if only for a minute. Practice living within metaphor preserves and develops our potential for maintaining our plasticity of mind into adulthood. These are the children that as adults won't trip over the linear trail of liability regarding how heavy metals ended up in polar bear fat, but rather understand intuitively that when something is created, it becomes part of the other. Metaphor is the acknowledgement of likeness, of how a flower is like a star, is like a firework, is like rain. And go ask a child if there's rain in a flower. And of course, seeing likeness in the other is a primary root of peace. Well, the last point I'd like to make is simply regarding health. Today in schools, when a teacher introduces an abstract concept like addition, they start with concrete models. Regarding health, I'd like to propose the question, what are our concrete models of health? Where do we learn to assess what practice is healthy and which is not? The answer, and here I admit I'm a little fuzzy, lies in places of wild character. Hunkering down in a diverse meadow of wildflowers while blackbirds and sparrows dart overhead is a good start. Places where, again, your complete being says, this is right, this is good. We want these experiences for our children. They're critical for our community's development into whatever comes next. So, thank you.